you're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra, and we're going to be discussing all about what's really happening with the Adani Group. Remember the reports which talk about how the group is now in talks with multiple multinational consumer goods companies to divest its complete 43.9% stake in Adani Wilmar, which is known for its Fortune brand of edible oils and packaged grocery products. And Adani and Wilmar actually share an equal ownership in this JV, which was established back in 1999, followed by the IPO that was launched in February of 2022 to raise 3,600 crore rupees. Both the companies' shareholdings was then reduced to 43.9% each. Now, the reports are suggesting that the group may be looking at seeking $2.5 to $3 billion for the entire stake that it wants to sell in the JV as well. Let's try and understand what this really means. Joining in with me is a very special guest. Mr. Vinit Bolinjkar joins in, Head of Research at Ventura Securities. Welcome to Business Today TV, sir. First up, we want to understand from you, how have you looked at the news, primarily the reports that are coming in that Adani Group now wants to completely exit its stake in the Wilmar JV, sir?
So it's no surprise to us. They have voiced their intentions much earlier also. And it is more in line keeping with their requirement for funds in the aftermath of the Hindenburg crash that took place. The group has to now reshuffle its priorities to ensure that money is adequate for its ventures where they believe that they have got a more of a keen interest. And I won't be surprised if Wilmar comes and picks up the rest of the stake, because they're very, very focused players in this space.
Okay, so how soon are we looking at this thing happening, sir? How soon will Adani be looking at an exit completely?
I think they will be talking to a few suitors. Probably the first right of refusal will obviously be with Wilmar, because they have been a strategic investor since a very, very long time. And if Wilmar is interested and they're a cash-rich group, so I think that the deal can happen sooner than we expect. But if they're looking for a strategic investor, then it could be a bit of a while before it kind of culminates.
But what surprises a lot of investors was that, Adani Wilmar has been one of the multi-bagger stocks. I mean, it had a very good subscription figure when it launched the IPO. After the IPO was launched, it definitely was a big wealth creator, made a debut on D Street, on 8th of February 2022, and then gave more than 100% returns to the allottees as well. Thereafter as well, we constantly saw the stock really performing. Nobody really thought that Adani brand will want to move away from such a stellar stock on the stock markets, at least in such a short span in time. How do you read that, and what would you explain to investors then?
So I really think that it was they're letting go of a family jewel, if I may call it. But sometimes you have to take hard decisions, and their focus on the hydrogen vertical is so focused, along with ports and the other infra plays. I think that they've decided to stick to their strength, and unlock value which is not their core strength as such. So I think that is what is going on in the mind of the group while they're looking to exit and plow back their funds into the hydrogen vertical.
Right. Now, but what does it mean for the investors who've been holding the stock? So, as long as we know, this entire year the stock has really not performed well. Of course, after the aftermath of Hindenburg Group, we actually saw most of the stocks really crash a lot. Many of them have been able to recoup about 30-40%, even 50%, but not all of them. In the case of Adani Wilmar, we've seen that in the last year-to-date performance, still down by 50-odd% as well. The company also reported a loss of 131-odd crore rupees in the September quarter against a profit of 49-odd crore rupees in the same quarter previous financial year. The drop in profitability was again attributed to decline in revenues as well. Your own thoughts of what should investors be really gauging once the Adani Group is looking to exit? How should one be holding their stocks now?
See, we have to keep in mind that Wilmar is a very focused player in this space, and they are not going to abandon this baby. And they've made very large investments for capacity expansions. They've got some of the largest capacities for the FMCG or the foods business. Having said that, if you notice the losses that the group has suffered in the recent quarter that has gone by is primarily to do one time with its soya uh, vertical for the oils business. Here, we have seen two very quixotic things happen. While the price has declined, the normally volumes pick up, the volumes have also crashed YOY QOQ. And that has led to an operating deleverage, and the company has assigned this to the fact that the hedges went wrong, the headwinds in the markets of Bangladesh, and as I told you earlier, with the soybean, the price falling far more than anticipated. But if you were to look at it, they built a veritable brand of Fortune, which is a pan-India brand. Their investments in the food commodity space are paying dividends. We've seen very good growth coming there, and the essential industrials are also doing very fantastic.
Yeah.
So while the mainstay of the business did not do well, the other has compensated in terms of price and volume. So I believe that this will be a one-off. There would be an adjustment, and the
Okay.
company would come back to profitability. And we have to understand that the food vertical now is a far bigger play on the Fortune brand. So if
Okay.
Fortune Oils is a 13 metric ton brand, the food other five products that they have is
Sure.
a 300 million ton opportunity. And there are not too many players who could get it right other than Fortune itself. So we are very, very bullish on this company, but from a very
Okay.
long, very disappointed with the numbers. What do you do with this? With the Adani is looking to sell, I think investors can average down a little lower, because if this becomes a complete company which is owned by Wilmar, then what is going to happen is that the negativity associated with the company, with the Adani holding, sad to say this, but that will go away, and that can be quite bullish for the group as such.
So a fresh investor can continue to buy at these levels?
I would ask him to wait a bit and then buy, at slightly lower levels, because stock is still a little bit overvalued, especially keeping in mind the numbers that have recently come out.
All right, fair enough, sir. Thank you so much for being with us on the show and explaining to us how should investors be reading this news flow as well. We will continue to get you more developments, and as and when more clarity emerges on the reports that have come about that Adani Group is looking to exit its entire stake in Wilmar JV. But what it means for the investors and shareholders at large is what Vinit has really explained to you well. Many thanks for being with us, but do stay tuned on BTTV as the closing show comes up next.
Good evening, everybody.